power of patience and how to live a stress-free life. A story of Buddha. Friends, this is a story from the time when Buddha was spending his day in meditation. By this time, Buddha's fame and spread far and wide. People from distant lands would come to him to find solutions to their worries and problems. One day, as Buddha was giving a sermon to his disciples, a middle-aged man approached him, bringing his young son along. When they reached near Buddha, he glanced at them and gestured for them to sit. After the sermon was over and everyone had left, Buddha called the man and asked him to sit beside him. The surroundings were lush green, the weather was pleasant, and the sound of various birds filled the air. The peaceful atmosphere made the man feel calm from within. Buddha then asked the man the reason for his visit. The man replied, "Guruji, I have travelled for 2 long days to bring my son to meet you. He is my only son and he always looks tired. It feels as if he has no energy left in him. His behavior has also become very irritable. If we say anything to him, he gets angry over small things. His eyesight has weakened before its time, and his hair has started turning grey. He looks older than his age. I am really worried about my son's health." When I took him to the doctor, he gave some medicine and said that my son should reduce stress as it is affecting his health. But despite my efforts to explain, my son doesn't understand what stress is or how it affects him. I don't know what a stress is, why it happens, or how to free my son from it. That's why I have come to you, Guruji. Please help me understand this problem and find a solution. Hearing this, Buddha looked closely at the son's face, his eyes, and even checked his pulse. After examining him, Buddha said to the man, "No one chooses to take on stress, yet it creeps into people's mind like a termite, and they don't even realize that they are living in stress. But when a person understands the causes of stress and develops a way to measure it, they can also find a solution. First, understand what stress is. When a person is doing something but their mind is wandering elsewhere in imagination, a gap is created between the body and the mind. The larger this gap, the more unconscious the person becomes. The gap and tension between the body and the mind is what we call stress. After playing a favorite game, why does a person feel energetic and joyful, even though he have physically exhausted themselves? It is because during the game, both the body and mind are fully focused on the game, leaving no gap between them. Hence, no stress is created and pre-existing stress gets released. However, when we do something we don't enjoy, the body may be engaged in the task, but the mind is wandering elsewhere. This creates a gap between the body and the mind, and stress is born. Therefore, a person should do only one task at a time, focusing all their physical and mental energy on that task to avoid stress from taking root. Buddha then explained that there are 8 main causes of stress, and anyone who understands these causes can live a stress-free life. The first major cause is excessive ambition. While ambition is good, have you noticed that human goals are never fully achieved? Once one goal is met, the person rushes to the next. This endless cycle keeps them always striving for something more. An overly ambitious person lives in the future, making plans, but it never present in the moment. This creates a gap between the body, which is in the present, and the mind, which is in the future, leading to stress. Hearing this, the young man asked Buddha, "Does this mean we should not set goals? After all, setting goals is also ambition." Buddha replied, "There is nothing wrong with setting goals. The problem arises when we focus entirely on the outcome and worry about it. A person must learn to live in the present, set goals and work hard toward them. But remember that the present is the only reality. The second major cause of stress is jealousy. When a person is filled with jealousy and envy, their mind starts to rot from the inside. Jealousy is like an internal wound, and unlike physical wounds, wounds of the mind never heal. Therefore, one should never feel jealousy of others' happiness and success, as jealousy is a source of stress. Buddha then explained the third cause, which is doing work without passion. When we engage in tasks we have no interest in, our minds naturally wander, creating a gap between the body and mind, resulting in stress. Therefore, it is important to do work that aligns with our passion. The fourth cause is setting expectations from others. Buddha pointed toward the father and said, as a father, you must have high expectations from your son, that he becomes successful, make you proud, and lives life the way you want him to. But have anyone's expectations ever been fully met? If your son doesn't meet your expectations, stress will take hold of your mind, and your relationship with him will suffer even more. Therefore, try to have fewer expectations from others, or better yet, stop expecting anything at all if you wish to live stress-free. Lastly, Buddha explains that physical pain can also lead to stress. When a person is in pain, their entire focus is on the suffering and their minds fills with negative thoughts. Accepting the pains in inevitable part of life helps reduce the stress it causes. The father, hearing all this, asked Buddha for a simple way for his son to follow. As his son was still young and could not grasp all these teachings at once, Buddha suggested, if you cannot follow everything, there is a simple method. Focus on one task at a time. Whatever task you are doing, put your full attention on it. When your mind wanders gently, bring it back to the task. Keep your body and mind united, preventing the gap that leads to stress. Friends, I hope this story has given you valuable lessons. Thank you. Subscribe my channel and like and share the video.